All righty, welcome. We have me, who's hosting this time, Caden. We got Grant, and we got Aunt Lisa joining us today.
Woohoo!
Welcome,
Lisa in the
Lisa.
house.
Woo!
Thanks. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, we're happy you could join. I know we were just talking a little bit before we started recording, but super glad that we were able to have you on. I know we've teased it a little bit on different episodes, so we're happy to finally have you here, both as an avid commenter and now an active participant. So welcome.
Thanks. Yeah, and your biggest fan. We might argue with Ken about that, but I think
That's right.
yeah, I feel like a big fan or one of the biggest.
I was gonna
So
say, don't be fooled just by the fact that this is what episode 20. We have been trying, begging, down on our knees, trying to get Lisa to join the show since before the show was even started.
uh,
This is a
yeah,
this is like a free agent dream acquisition for us. So
yeah,
it's a big
yeah.
day.
Her secretary was a hassle to get a hold of. Like, I don't know if you need a new secretary or what, but my
Yeah.
I was
goodness.
Yeah.
just telling Kaden that I got way too much time on my hands, so I'm pretty sure it was not hard to get a hold of me or to get me on here.
Wait, then who are we talking to this whole time?
I don't know. He goes by Master Commander and always puts a blindfold on. Is yeah, it's weird. Anywho, Lisa, all the family already knows you, but why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Lisa Holmes. Let's see. I have 4 kids, 4 grandkids, and 1 on the way. Um,
A kid or a
I have
grandkid on the way?
grandkid,
Oh, okay. I
grandkid.
was like,
My
whoa,
Yeah.
goodness.
major announcement.
Nope. Um, I'm a marriage and family therapist. I do that part-time and love it. And yeah, that's about it. I used to
That's
be a
awesome.
runner. You guys have inspired me. I ran once this week, so we'll see if I pick that back up as um a second wind on my running life. I mean, I ran for a good 20 years and just have stopped kind of in the last 2 years maybe. So,
Mhm.
done
Yeah.
more walking, but
I was gonna ask you about that a little bit later. Just um yeah, I remember your running phase. I remember seeing you and Tanner run that marathon together. So
Yeah,
um yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later because I have some questions since we're talking to an expert. Anyone who's run a marathon, finished a marathon even, that's an expert. That's all that's like the only requirement. So
agreed.
we'll get
Definitely.
into it.
Definitely. And I also agree to piggyback off of what Grant said is that was a very humble introduction by Lisa. And we're going to get to later some questions I have and some praise I have towards Lisa, not to make you blush or anything, but we'll circle back around to that. With that said, I want to pose a question to you guys. So it's summer, June, arguably some of the best months of the year. And so, in honor of Austin's absence, we're going to do a little Mount Rushmore. And we're not going to choose from his little project, his little chat with Chat GPT. I selected an intentionally very vague topic for you guys. Um, that is just going to be summer things. Take that as you will. You can't say people or a person, but you can say anything from a food, a place, a basically a noun, just not a person. And then
Okay.
we're gonna go snake draft style. So when someone says something, you can't repeat. And we'll start with Lisa. So she'll go first, and then Grant, you can go, and then I'll go, and then we'll wrap back around. And then go me, Grant, Lisa, and so on until we've each selected 4 things, and I'll keep track so we can recap at the end and decide who has the best Mount Rushmore of quote summer things end quote.
same.
Boy.
Um, I'm gonna take the easy route right now, but, swimming is
Ooh,
Nice.
is
that's
the
a solid.
best. When my kids were little, we did it every day. Like, when, my grandkids come, that's what I wanna do with them because little kids just love it. So mainly little kid life is the way I'm seeing it, but
Do I remember that your kids did swim lessons, or am I making that up?
they were on the swim team when they
Okay.
were little, but,
Yeah.
and a little bit when we lived in McKinney, but now
Okay. I totally remember. I hadn't thought of about this previously, but I remember we would play. I don't know if this game had a name, but where us little kids, you would like stand in the shallower end of the pool with your legs like a certain distance, and we'd have to swim through, and then you
But yeah,
slowly bring your legs closer and closer and see who could get through without touching your leg at all.
Yep,
Uh,
I gotta tell you real quick, Andrew and Kinsley and I were playing that the other night, just, like,
yeah.
less than a week ago, bringing back the
Oh my gosh.
old
man,
times.
that's a
So,
Who
good.
won? Who's the winner?
um, who was the winner? It was Andrew, I think. I think it was Andrew.
Ah,
He still got
Yeah.
Andrew.
it. He
What a
still got
dog.
it.
Oh man, Tira and I played that with our nieces and nephews in Tennessee just a few weeks ago, and I totally thought about you. And Tira was
Nice.
like, "Where did you play this game?" I was like, "Oh, with Aunt Lisa all the time."
Nice.
Yeah, I may be bigger than all my nieces and nephews, but and they probably will never listen to this. But if they do, I want them to remember that I won a couple of weeks ago, being the biggest feller participating.
And
Took
still
him
won.
down.
That's
Still got
awesome.
it. Still got it from those years of training with you, Lisa.
Yes, yes.
So thank you, thank you. All right, Grant, let's hear what you got.
Man, I'm gonna say watermelon. I think summer is
Oh,
watermelon season. It's starting to go on
no,
sale. And can you name a more refreshing food? I dare you.
Grant. I
It's
don't
too
know how
good.
well you can see my notes, but that is my very number one thing that I wrote for summer things. So you took my number one.
Well, you
Mm.
shouldn't have pointed your camera down your notebook because I see everything.
Yeah, that's upsetting. Man, I was really excited about that one. I had a Sunday school teacher once who said his favorite thing about summer was watermelon, and he said, "I have an inappropriate, like, love for a good watermelon in the summer." And I think about that a lot of times when I have watermelon now. I've always wondered what he truly meant when he said that.
Yeah, like,
But,
mm,
nothing as good as a good watermelon on a hot summer day.
Mhm.
You're ruining my list already, Grant. Well, in that case, I'm going to go ahead and say the beach. Love the beach in the summer. I'll come back to that in a little bit for my week recap. And then I'll go ahead and share my second thing. And man, now that you took watermelon out of the race, I'm having to reorganize the order that I say them.
I threw you off. I threw you off your
Yeah,
groove. I'm
threw off
sorry.
the Emperor's Groove. Um, I'm going to say fireworks. It's
Oh,
mostly a 4th of July thing, but I love some good fireworks in the summer. Feel like lots of good memories surround days that involve fireworks.
Oh, yeah. Did you get
definitely.
to do them, or
Uh,
were you was it like dad had to do them and you just got to watch?
I mean, there were a couple of times we lit smaller ones or would light them and run away, but I'm thinking those and then some of, like, the bigger fireworks shows that we went to.
Yeah, we never
Yeah.
bought the big ones on our own. I mean, you
Okay.
get the little knick-knack fireworks that would like, the poppers you throw on the ground or even I don't remember the names of them, but it's like
The
like
sparklers.
the sparklers. There was
The
like
Roman
a
candles.
snake one. You would light it and then it'd turn into like this little snake on the ground. That
Oh,
was
yeah.
kind of cool.
Pretty sure Voldemort
Yeah.
does the same trick in one of the Harry Potter movies.
Think he
So,
does. Think he does. J.K. Rowling is a big fireworks fan.
yeah,
Big summer fan.
everyone does that.
Okay, is it my turn
Um,
again or Grant's turn?
my
Grant
Is
and
it
turn
then
then
back
we'll
to
goes
switch
back
Grant?
to you.
to yeah.
Yeah. So if my first one was obviously like taste. The second one is smell, and I think of the smell of freshly mowed lawns in the summer. Everyone
Mm.
outside doing yard work, and there's just that particular smell in the air you don't get at different times, and I miss it. I love it. What I wouldn't give to
That's
mow a
a good
lawn
one.
right now.
Okay.
Man, yeah,
All
that's a
right,
great
so
one.
this one's gonna be a little specific to our family and to you guys, but I'm gonna say Kids Bowl Free.
Oh,
Oh,
the best.
That
Oh,
that is
was the best.
I
So many
yeah,
fun memories.
yeah.
that is a great one. Again, we'll be circling back to that. All right, Lisa, you get to go ahead and share your
Oh,
third one.
okay, what is my 3rd one? Um, this probably seems really similar to my first one, but I'm gonna go with water parks because we would try to get some years, we'd try to get like a season pass to a water park, and that was always fun. So,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
absolutely.
kinda similar, but
Mhm.
No, I gotta hear the top one. Is it Hurricane Harbor, Hawaiian Falls, Schlitterbahn?
Celebration Park.
Schlitterbahn well, Schlitterbahn is our favorite, and we would try to
Gotta
go
be.
there, like, um, for a while, we try to go every summer, but on that along those lines, we are going in, like, 2 weeks to
No
Schlitterbahn, so,
way.
yeah,
Wow.
for our
That's it.
summer family reunion kinda thing, so
Yeah. Oh, man, that'll be so fun.
I can't wait to join you guys. That sounds really fun. When are we going again? 2
we're
weeks?
going, yeah, something like that.
Very cool. Is
Yeah,
it, man, I always forget the name of the city.
New
Oh, New
Braunfels.
Braunfels.
New
Okay.
Braunfels, yeah.
Just came to me. Yeah, and that's near Houston?
I think it's
San
closer
Antonio?
to Austin, San Antonio, so I think San Antonio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's closer to San Antonio.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, my Texas geography is it's pretty weak these days. Yeah, great answer. I We did Schlitterbahn a couple of times when we were kids, and that's like the king of water parks. It just doesn't
Yeah,
get
It's so
better.
fun.
can't
So
beat it.
cool. I remember the Master Blaster, if I'm remembering it correctly. That's a cool slide. Okay, my next one is I'm gonna say late sunsets because in the summer the
Oh,
sun just doesn't set till like 8:30, 9, just like super late, and especially after a long winter when the sun goes down around 5 or 6 and it's just dark all the time. I love that there's so much light for the majority of the time that you're awake. Like even now I wake up at around 6 every day, whether to go to the gym or go for a run or whatever, and like the light is already coming through our bedroom window, so it makes it so much easier to get out of bed when there's already natural light coming up, and I don't have to like feel my way through the darkness and trip over a hundred things, which I never do because my room is always clean. Since my mom is listening, my room is clean. But
that's good,
yeah,
Grant. Means you'll probably get to go out and play with friends later. You
boy,
just have to make
can't
them
wait.
first, and then you can play with them.
Yeah.
No, just just kidding. That's another good one. All right, I got my next 2. Um, I'm gonna go along the same lines. I realized that one of them I said pool parties, but at least I already said swimming and water parks, so
It's
I'm gonna
different.
not say that one since it's somewhere in between, but I'm gonna say summer rainstorms. I feel like just a good summer rainstorm. I feel like I really like this is super random, but I really like the smell of the earth after it rains, like just walking outside. Just there's something good about it and pretty. Thanks, Grant. Thanks for giving me that. Um,
That's weird because I just always walk in front of you after rainstorms, and I
oh,
definitely not crop dust in you. So it's just weird that
thanks.
you like that smell. I don't know.
Uh, well, also having lived on the East Coast for a summer and then getting to live here again for this summer, it's just cool. I feel like there's often like, it'll like shower for a little bit or sprinkle in the afternoon while it's still sunny, and that I feel like is always kind of cool. Um, my last thing, definitely a weird, quirky one. Not wearing socks. Love that about this summer. Having the dogs out, letting them breathe,
Oh,
chase the sun.
who let the dogs out? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, that is a
Yeah,
good one. That is a good one.
that is interesting.
Gotta free those piggies. Um, I will say, so for my last one, and maybe this is just because, uh, you know, dad's main job our whole lives has been in education. So when we get our summer break, he gets his summer break. So, I would assume for most families, summertime is vacation time, but especially for ours, because that's when it aligned. But yeah, just vacations, road trips, especially like that's if we're going to go on a road trip at all during the year, it would be over the summer. Um, and yeah, so many fond memories with that. Just the time of year to go on an adventure. It seems.
Yeah, that was another top one for me as well. I love a good road trip. All right,
Oh,
Lisa, final one.
all
Wrap it
right,
up.
my final one is I'm just gonna say lazy mornings, because during the school year, you gotta get up, get everybody's lunches ready, get them off to seminary or whatever thing that they're doing, and it's kinda nice just to you can stay up a little bit later, you can get up a little bit later. It just life feels a little slower. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
I
definitely. Well, that is a wrap. Let me go ahead and recap what we got. So for the Mount Rushmore of summer things, Lisa, swimming, kids bowl free, water parks, and lazy mornings. Grant, watermelon, freshly mowed lawns, late sunsets, vacations, and road trips. And then for mine, I said beach, fireworks, summer rainstorms, and not wearing socks. So for our listeners, and of course, I mean Ken, go ahead and leave in the comments who has the best list, the best Mount Rushmore of summer things. And with that, we'll go ahead and roll music.
Road Love Podcast. Road Love Podcast.
Alrighty, welcome back. Quick little recap. Speaking of Uncle Ken, we have a couple comments from him over the past couple of days. So I'll
Oh, do we?
share those, and then we'll get into our little weekly recaps. So from the 17th episode of How Much Vaseline is Too Much Vaseline, he commented, "You guys should definitely have some licensed t-shirts with your logo on the front and uh-oh Sinky on the back." So I see a future for us in the
Uh,
merchandise realm once we expand our horizons.
that's that entrepreneurial mindset coming from Uncle Ken. I love it.
yeah.
Good stuff.
And then he commented actually 3 hours ago, so very recently. And this was in response to the Four Bowl Story episode, which is crazy story if you guys haven't listened to that episode. But he said, "Yay, I'm number 2 in ranking, but I can still say I'm number 2, just like my parents always told me, Ken, one day you will be a number 2, a solid number 2, dot, dot, dot." And that's in
Oh,
reference to his episode having the second most views on YouTube. And Ken, you are a great number 2. Let me tell you, you can
people
always
love
be it.
you.
Yeah. People pleaser right there. Um, we love getting the comments. We love hearing from you guys. Go feel free to keep commenting, and of course, we'd love to hear who had the best Mount Rushmore. But with that said, let's go ahead and hear about y'all's weeks. Um, Grant, if you want to share first, and then Lisa, and then I can wrap us up. Do anything exciting this past week? Anything worth sharing?
Yeah, I got a few things. So you guys are gonna think that I'm making this up, but I promise you this happened. Okay. I I think Monday morning I am out the door early, going to the gym. I open the door and the first thing I see across the street is what I thought was like a pile of trash, like rolling towards this dumpster. I'm like, oh, weird. Okay. It's like you know, the tumbleweed version of what you'd find in a city. But it was not trash. It was two rats that were wrestling each other, like like big, massive jumbo rats. And so yeah, they were rolling around, and then all of a sudden they both stood up on their hind legs, locked paws with each other, and if I didn't know any better, it looked like they were slow dancing.
It sounds like they're about to tango.
It was kind of romantic. Like I felt like I was intruding a little bit. It was a quiet
Wow.
street, no cars, nobody, and then here I come, random dude opening the door, and they were having a moment, definitely, right? And
I was
then
about
as
to say,
soon
were
as
they fighting if they went to dancing? Is that what was happening, Grant?
it might be mating season. I'm not sure.
Oh,
I don't really know the life cycle of a rat. But anyway, yeah, just super peculiar. I was like,
crazy.
I might just be really tired and like hallucinating, but this seems very real. So anyway,
That's crazy.
I know. So that was, yeah, that's burned into my memory forever now. Couple other fun things we did this week. We got to feed the missionaries, which Amanda and I have only done a couple of times, but that's always special, right? And um, like you want to feed them a good meal and you want to like make sure there's good conversation, have a good time. But more than anything, like what really stood out to me this time is what a blessing it is to have missionaries in your house. It just made me think back to when I was serving and, um, we'd always ask people like, what can we do for you? Like as we're on our way out, just making sure that, that there's anything we could do, that's their time to tell us. And like more often than not, they just say, "No, you've done enough just by being here. Like you've blessed our home. Like thank you for bringing the spirit." And I was always like, "Are you sure? Like we're just people. We're people just like you." Like, but I really felt that this time around. I think there's something special about having two representatives of the Lord in your home, and yeah, them being there and you doing something as simple as making them a meal really can bless your home. And I think that we felt it in the Bird household this week. So, that's my little plug for Feed the Missionaries.
That's great.
Um,
Nice. Yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, super good to have them.
Do you guys have
Um,
sisters or elders?
we have both. Our ward is kind of weird. We have like 4 sets of missionaries.
Wow.
Wow.
Um, yeah, there's a lot of investigators. I guess they're not called that anymore, but a lot of big teaching pool in
Yeah,
Boston. Yeah,
that's
you'd be
awesome.
surprised.
Mm-mm.
Um, so another thing is we officially signed a lease on a new apartment this week, which we're excited
What?
about. And yeah, the
Are
search
you
is
going
over.
more, what was it, east?
If we went any more east, we'd probably be in the ocean. So we're gonna go west of
You are.
Boston. Yeah, we're like right outside of Boston.
That's what I meant,
So
west. I meant west.
yeah, so we're gonna be like an hour and a half ish west of where we currently live. So quite a ways out, but like public transportation is pretty reliable even that far out. So could still hop on a train and go downtown for work and everything. But uh, honestly, I love this place. A lot of open fields, super green. It kind of feels like a rural town in Texas, and that's exactly what we wanted. So, um, we'll move in a couple months, and so that yeah, that was big news for us.
Oh, that's exciting.
That's
Yeah,
yeah, we're so happy for you. Grant and Amanda showed us the place on Zillow and have talked to us about it, and it just looks great. Looks like it'll be a great fit for them. We're very, very excited for them.
yeah, thanks, bro.
It's really cool.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It'll be good for Lily too, especially just I think for her growth and development, this space is a little bit better suited for her. So more than anything, excited for that. Um, we took the family out to a Red Sox game, which like in terms of baseball, the most like exciting place you could go, like the most historic would be Fenway Park. I think
Yeah.
most people would agree. Maybe like the Chicago Cubs stadium is another big one, but so we got to go to Fenway and check it out, and that was really cool. Um, and
Did
then
Lily sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" the whole time?
only about
That's
100
good.
times
Oh, thank goodness.
for everyone to hear.
I'm so
Um,
glad you taught it to her,
yeah, yeah, it just came out one
so
night.
she
I was
knew
singing
to
random
sing.
songs, and then like you never know what's going to stick with kids, right? You could sing a million different things, and like, of course, it was that one. So, um, we also, like, the thing that she's been saying the most recently is "Holy guacamole." So, like, at least 50 times a day, she'll just be like, "Holy guacamole," and it's still cute every time.
Oh, yeah. So lots of
Um,
words, huh? Like saying
but
lots of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, she is quite the talker. Like, still not totally speaking in full sentences, but, like, can very easily repeat everything that we say, and, like, she makes up her own words to songs and stuff. Um, so yeah, she's getting there.
It's a fun age.
Yeah.
Big talker till she's on FaceTime, and she becomes a lifeless little child with no
Yeah.
emotion.
Yeah, stranger danger. Yeah, she gets
Yeah,
shy. She gets a little shy,
yeah.
but that's okay. But yeah, that's my week in a nutshell. I graduated from 7 miles to an 8-mile run. Um,
Woohoo!
so
Yeah.
here's where the life advice comes in, Lisa, because I need you on this. Um, you obviously trained for a marathon. What did you do to like on those long runs where you need to hydrate yourself, you need to maybe refuel? Like, what was your strategy for those longer runs?
So it kind of changed over time, but because yeah, I trained for, I can't remember how many I've done. Sorry. Um, but it's 5 or 6, I think. Um, but I wore a belt. Do you have a belt with little um water bottles in it?
Like, I have a church belt, but probably not that.
And you haven't considered that yet?
No, I mean, my best solution so far is just to carry a water bottle in my hand, but then it makes my arm kind of tired.
Yeah, so I could show it to you. But anyways, yeah, it's just clips on, and the ones that I've had, they have, like, just 8-ounce bottles, and there's, like, 4 you can get different ones, 4 to 6 bottles worth. Um, and then what I was told initially, when I first started was after the first 6 miles that you fuel with, like, goo. I don't know if you've had goo. Or they
Like,
have so many different, it's a GU, but they have a lot of different ones out there, or like little square things. Um, so that's what I did. And they talked about it like, if you yeah, so after 6 miles, it's like your tank is on empty, and
yeah.
so you put more, um, electro I don't like Gatorade or anything like that. That'll really dry out my mouth,
Mm,
but I did like the goo was okay. A lot
yeah.
of them have a ton of caffeine in it, which I don't. I would try to find ones that didn't have caffeine, but, um,
Okay. Interesting.
at least the Goo brand, like, I would check and see, um, but, yeah, I did notice a big boost in energy if I would take about half of one of those,
Mm,
drink a bunch of water, and then keep trucking along, and then they say I forget what it is, you'd have to look it up, maybe every half hour, 45 minutes after that,
you
fuel
take
some
another
more.
one? Okay.
Yeah, like, when you get up to the 13, 14, 15. I feel like it can be pretty helpful. I don't know if it's a mental thing. I feel like it's a little bit of a physical, but I would almost feel like, "Okay, I'm resetting," like, you would take the goo and then you'd be like, "All right, mile 1," like,
Yeah,
I'd
good to
kind of
go.
feel
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah, and it's something to
So
look
it
forward
would be
to.
interesting at least, yeah, at least try it out at, like, mile 6 and see if you get a boost. I
Mhm.
think that would be interesting to at least experiment with.
Okay, yeah. I definitely will need to start doing that. I have a 9-mile run coming up on Monday, and I think what I've learned is, like, you really have to be intentional about, like, those psychological wins along the way. Because like, my last run, I wasn't running super fast, so it was an hour and a half, right, to run 8 miles. That was just a long time to do anything for an hour and a half. So, if I didn't have something to look forward to or, like, my whole run was 3 loops. It just kinda worked out well that way. So,
Mm.
anytime I'd, like, finish a lap, I'm like, "Alright, 1 down, 2 to go." So, like, something like that for a longer run is, like, would keep me going, keep me engaged mentally, but
Yeah, do you listen to music or do anything like that?
yeah, yeah, I'll do, like, a podcast for the first half, and I just feel like that helps my flow a little bit better. Than at the back half, I'll go to music because by that point, I'm dying and I couldn't understand anything. It just goes in one ear out the other. So,
Right. Yeah, you need something a little more just, like, giving you the beat to keep going, and
yeah,
yeah,
totally.
yeah.
No, it's good advice. Did you have a particular genre of music? Like, is there music that you would listen to on a run that you wouldn't normally listen to?
So, let me just say this, like, when I was doing marathons initially, it was, like, I probably had a MP3 player or whatever with some music.
Mhm.
It's but, um, yeah, my last one, Nicole made me a tape and put it in, like, a walk I w
Nice.
but it broke, like, the tape. 'Cause it
No.
wasn't like a tape was a thing, but she had a Walkman and she's like, "I'll make you a mixtape or whatever." And, like, I was at the very beginning of the race. It was in Utah. What's that one in Utah?
The St. George?
Moab?
I think it was St. George, yeah. St. George, and literally, like, the first mile in, it was like, and I, like, tried to pull it out, and it was, all the stuff,
Oh,
so
no.
that
Worst
was a bummer.
nightmare.
But, yeah, I'm trying to remember, just upbeat music. If you probably have Spotify or something like that. I don't have any of
Mhm.
that. I don't actually listen to music. I haven't listened to music for a while since I ran, but, I was kind of into the podcast scene, so it would either be podcasts or nothing,
Yeah.
but
That's hardcore, Lisa.
Yeah.
Listening to nothing, that just means you are in tune with yourself.
oh, let me say this, sorry. So when I was in Houston, it was music, and then when I came to McKinney, I ran with friends, And so, like, we would do our long runs. So it was a lot of
Yeah,
visiting and talking, which is so nice. Just saying. That helps a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah. So,
yeah. That's great. Yeah, running with the group would be awesome. I do wonder how far you can get until it's like, I don't wanna talk to you anymore, I'm just trying to breathe, like, catch my breath, you know? But
yeah.
for me, that would be pretty quick. So when Caden and Austin and I do our race, maybe the first couple miles we're chatting, but after that, might intentionally fall back.
Well, and we would run 4 miles every day for years, and then like, we were, like, 6 days a week running 4 to 6 miles, and so
Goodness.
when we started training, it was like we were already used to visiting for long periods of time, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's
was pretty,
impressive.
yeah.
Is that
Sure.
where you got really good at your question asking skills? Your just conversation skills? Because now you're a therapist, right? So maybe it came from those long runs, those long chats.
I think I've always been a curious person, so that's where I just follow my curiosity, maybe.
Yeah. And, Grant, I've
Poetic.
been meaning to talk to you about that, about what expectations we'll have for the half marathon. We'll have to
Stay
circle back
alive,
to that
man.
with Austin about, because I've been listening to music my whole entire, like, for all of my runs, and obviously I'm not up to the mileage that you and Austin are at yet. But yeah, I've been curious if I get so accustomed to music, do I need to, like, try running without music so we can chat, or so I
I think, we'll come up with a strategy. Are we gonna try to run the whole thing? Like, if so,
yeah.
that's its own goal, but we'll probably chat for
When is this race, by the way?
end of September. So, still
Okay,
like 3 months out.
and
Yeah.
where is it?
It's in Dallas. It's called the Golden Harvest, yeah, Golden Harvest race, I wanna say.
And just the 3 of you are doing it?
Our parents are doing the 5K, and then Kindle is either doing the 10K or the 5K. Is that right,
That sounds
Grant?
right. Yeah.
And then Audrey might also come. I think she's still up in the air about
But you
whether.
guys are doing a half marathon.
Yeah, they don't do a marathon, unfortunately. Not that we probably would have done it
Uh,
anyway, but, yeah, the longest is the half.
You gotta put it on the bucket list, though. Once you've done, I
I
feel
don't
like
know,
you
Lisa. We'll
oh,
see how
yeah.
this goes.
yeah, one step at a time. We gotta figure out what goo is first. I'm just picturing, like, this slime that Scooby Doo and Shaggy step in,
Yeah, is
but
it Elmer's goo? Because I've tasted that, it's not very good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Really sticky.
Yeah, I feel like the caramel one is the best, but I do think they now make that one with, a lot of caffeine, so that's the one I used to use is the caramel. Nicole calls it snot. That's the kind of the yeah.
Yummy. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, are we over to who are we over to now for the weekly report?
I think it's
I think it's
Lisa.
me. Yeah, I'm gonna keep my weekly report short. Not much is going on. Just had work this week. Um, Ken traveled this week to his parents' house. Um, we're traveling tomorrow to go visit Morgan um, in Alabama and watch our granddaughter's first dance recital.
Aw,
Yay.
That'll be fun.
that's super sweet.
Super cute. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think what else is going on. That's about it. I don't have any cool stories like seeing rats dance together. But
Very cool story.
Yeah, nothing cool about it, just concerning mostly. I just
Yeah.
keep telling myself that was real. Yeah,
yeah, that's about it for my weekly update, unfortunately.
No, that's super exciting. You
great.
have a grandchild that's old enough to participate in a dance recital. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
awesome. That's super exciting.
yeah, and safe travels to you guys. Are you guys driving or flying out there?
No, we're flying in. We leave tomorrow at like 7:30 and we'll be there already by 9, which is so
Beautiful.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Yeah, I hope that is so much fun. It sounds like it will be.
Yeah.
I also don't have a whole lot to recap for my past week. Tira switched to 312s this week instead of 410s, and she got scheduled Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So Monday, Tuesday, we took a little beach trip, went to a beach called Emerald Isle. It's like 2.5 hours away from here. We did lots of boogie boarding and some volleyball, both on the beach and like waist deep or knee deep in the water, which was
Ah,
super fun and goofy.
amazing.
And we visited the Piggly Wiggly, the local
Yes.
Piggly Wiggly down there,
Yeah.
which was nostalgic of Grandma
Iconic.
Chapel's place.
Yeah.
And we even got some like a little one of the little, I don't know if it's a pint or a half pint or how much, but of Bluebell of the cookie two-step that they had at the Piggly Wiggly, and then we went back to the hotel and watched a movie. Sum it up, it was just a lot of fun getting so much quality time with Tiara. She started work a couple weeks ago, and I start work this next week. Um, so it was nice to have a lot of just focused quality time where she wasn't at work and I wasn't home alone all by myself. Um,
Been there, brother. It's a tough
yeah,
life.
yeah, yeah. No, just
Yeah.
kidding.
Well, good for her for switching over to the 12s because I know she wanted that, but yeah, it definitely gives y'all an
Yeah.
extra day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's
was
nice.
fun. We also spent yesterday just we did a whole lot of or spent a lot of time doing some clothes shopping, getting me some new shirts for my job next week. So I feel so handsome and confident. So that was fun. Again,
Yeah,
just a lot of great time. Tira's pretty cool. You guys know her. Met her last week. I'm sure you guys had never met her before, but
she's so cool.
yeah, she's a
Coolest.
stud. All right, we'll switch to entertainment of the week, and Lisa has some stuff I'm really excited to hear about. So I'll be
Boy,
super brief with mine. I started watching the TV series Lost, the one from like 20 years ago. Um, and that's what has filled a lot of my time as I do little tasks around the house. That's how I was entertained. Grant, how are you entertained? And then I want Lisa to take her time on her answer.
man, I can't even wait. I want to hear Lisa's response.
But you
Mine,
gotta go first, Grant.
mine is neither here nor there. It's just just Disney stuff. We're cycling through all the Disney movies for Lily. She's got to watch them for the first time. So yeah, we watched Frozen 2. Such a good one. Just so wholesome. And
Samantha?
this Samantha, I don't even know Samantha. This week we'll do some combination of Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, all the princess
Oh,
movies. We haven't even
nice.
gotten to those. I mean, I guess Frozen technically, but
Yeah.
anyway,
Nice.
exciting stuff.
Fun.
So exciting. Those are always fun movies. Okay, let me give you my entertainment of the week. Um, as I was telling Caden before we got on that I have a lot of downtime. And so I do podcasts, lots of books, and it's a lot. But um, so I this but in the last week I've or week and a half I've read two books. One was called The Coddling of the American Mind. Have you guys heard of that?
No,
Not
but interesting title. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's talking about how um, young people have been taught to avoid discomfort, treat every emotional reaction as evidence that something is truly dangerous, and to see disagreements as threats. Like on college campuses, it's kind of talking about that. Um, and it says, sorry, I kind of wrote down a kind of a summary of it. It says,
Mhm.
the authors contend that resilience, maturity, and wisdom develop not through protection from challenges, but through learning to face adversity, tolerate different viewpoints, and work through difficult emotions. So that's kind of um, the gist of that.
Yeah.
Um, mm, let's see if there's anything else. Um, like a lot of it is kind of like um, this anti-fragility idea. Have you guys heard that?
I haven't. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Okay,
No.
so it's like human beings are anti-fragile. Basically, they're very resilient. If you think of it in kind of the working out idea, right? Like you can break your muscles down and then they build back up, right? And so a lot of times, as the title suggests, we kind of like coddle our children now, and oh, we don't want anything, we don't want them to hear anything bad, do anything, like be around different perspectives,
Uh-huh.
um,
Yeah.
and and think they can't handle um, civil discourse, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
that's the one. The other one is a book called The Turning, and it's by Richard and Linda Eyre. Have you heard of them? They do a lot of, they're actually members of the church, but they do a lot of stuff on families. And they're talking about the book was named The Turning because from the scripture in Malachi that says hearts of the children turn to their fathers, right? And fathers to
Okay.
the children,
Mhm.
or there'll be a curse, right? And the curse that they talk about is like the social ills, the social problems in our society. And because we've gotten away from family, they're like the disintegration of the family,
Yeah.
that we're kind of turning social problems and that over to government in the in the in the in the way of like welfare and there's some of the other things, um social programs. Sorry, there's more. I think what that other one was. Yeah. Um, the court systems and legal stuff, right? Putting more people in jail, all that kind of stuff. And
Right.
their argument is like if we can get back to family being the people that like down to the center point of like building strong families, then we won't need all these extra programs um and that kind of thing. Let me see if there's and kind of the argument that like consumerism, entertainment, media, technology, excessive individualism, um, shifts priorities away from family relationships and long-term commitments. Um, and like many cultural messages teach personal fulfillment apart from responsibility to others. That kind of that's the gist of it. And I think it
Yeah.
was, I don't know, it's been really interesting to think about uh, like how like you can just kind of see how the decline of the family has um, impacted individuals, right?
Yeah.
uh,
Totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
so it's kind they talk about ways that we can turn it around to make a difference in our own little sphere of influence. So it's kind of motivated me, and I'm not doing a great job of it yet, but um, to refocus my energies on the family, um, and those relationships. So yeah,
Yeah. That's
right, that was a
wonderful.
lot.
I mean, that would be even one of those books or one sounds like a chapter from any of those books would be enough to think about for a long time. So I'm just
Yeah,
impressed that you're able to put it all together like that. And it just made me think, especially to your last point about families, because that is, I mean, that no one would deny that, I think, right? Like the
Yeah.
family is not
Yeah.
as emphasized or as strong uh as part of our like culture as it used to be, even in my lifetime. And it's just kind of amazing to me that um the family, a proclamation of the world, with the timing of it, like, you know, who would have thought that, even 20 years, 25 years after that came out, that the state of the family where it would be now would be in such like in such a crisis. So I just think it really speaks to, we live in a time of continuing revelation where the heavens aren't closed. And, back I was maybe not even born yet when that came out, but I'm sure maybe the reaction was like, families are fine. What are you talking about? And not
mhm.
even like a quarter of a century later, it's like families are not fine. Like things are going down. So
Well, and
yeah.
just people's way of viewing the family. Like I have a lot of clients who are like, I don't want the commitment. I don't want kids. I don't want like that would take too much from my personal, freedom. I just think it's a general, just I don't know what the word is, but a general help me find the word. Um,
General
Hesitation,
movement.
just um
quadrilateral.
I
Yeah.
can't think of the word. Um, it's just a way of viewing life, right? A paradigm, I don't know, of like,
Mhm.
you know, kids are a hassle, relationships are a hassle, too much work. I don't want to deal
Yeah.
with that. I'd rather just live on my own and live out my life and, you know, do what I want to do. I don't want to have to take other people into consideration or think about what they want, right? Like I'm living alone, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it would be like to be a parent as that this, like, shift and movement has been happening the last couple of decades, but growing up in it, Tira will occasionally share when we talk about family and kind of our priorities. There was one of her quote unquote good high school friends, at one point essentially made fun and not just poked fun, but like almost ridiculed Tira for wanting to have a family and have kids and get married, and said how that's just all she ever knew growing up was having a big family or having a family. And this, yeah, girl went on to say like that she never wanted to get married, never wanted kids, and how that would be such a waste of time and such a waste of life and yada yada. And it is crazy. I do think talking about like the idea of the disintegration of the family. Again, like Grant said, we could spend hours and hours talking about where where the world is at now and how just how crazy it is. It's truly crazy to see what people prioritize or what people care about or don't care about.
Yeah. And just how much it's shifted in such a short amount of time.
Yeah. And on the other hand of what you mentioned in your first book, it is crazy to me sometimes, especially being the younger demographic that we are, where I feel like this is kind of around the age when most people tend to feel like they have more of a voice and feel more passionately about what they feel passionate about, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Um, and it's Tira again. Tira is very wise in a lot of ways, and she always says how it's like embarrassing when people can't consider another person's point of view or another opinion because they're so determined that their way is the only way and their way is the only right way that they can't fathom listening to anyone else. And
So there was I'm gonna say one more there was a they gave a lot of examples in the book, but one of them was on a college campus. I don't know if it was the dean, so, a black girl had written to the dean and said, "I'm feeling, like I'm not being treated well," or whatever that was. Um, and the dean responded and said, "Hey, we want to address this. We want to help." Um, Something like it can't be good to not fit the mold of our college, right? And the girl was saying, I don't fit the mold and I'm feeling excluded.
mhm,
Well, and so I think the dean was trying to say, like, I hear you, I know it, I like, or I want to help, but they grabbed onto this thing of you don't fit the mold, almost took it out of context. And there was a whole rally of like, how dare you say I don't fit the mold? No, she said, I'm saying you say you don't fit the mold, right? But
Right. Yeah.
anyways, that was just like one example of how people, you know, um, try to catch people in their words or whatever,
yeah,
try to make them, you know, um, I don't know, how dare you say that to me? Anyways, there was a whole rally and she got, kicked out of whatever. She had to resign, but I mean, that was just one example, but it is crazy how you have to be so cautious, right? Because everybody's
Mhm.
offended by your opinion or how you think about things or whatever. So,
I
anyways,
yeah, I that's spot on. Honestly, a whole topic could be devoted or a whole podcast episode could be devoted to that. And I mean, I just think about like advertising and marketing. We're so used to hearing what we agree with because that's the way
yeah,
the world has, that's just the way the world is now. Like we're especially interacting with technology all the time. Our devices and the things we interact with, like confirmation bias is in full effect. We're always going to hear what we agree with. So we're not
yeah,
used to hearing things that we disagree with. And when we do, we're used to going to the comment section and fighting the people that we agree with. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's
yeah,
never been like more confusing to your point. So, you could read that whole message back from the dean and the one thing that you pick out was the thing that is, is going to radicalize you, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So it's super interesting.
Yep. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Lisa. That is, um, you'll have to text me after so I can see the title of the book again and who it's by.
Yeah,
Sure.
we could share it in the podcast notes too. I know there will be people listening who might want to read those or check it out. So we'll share those in the notes.
Yeah,
And by we, I mean Caden.
of course. Yes, and
I can
Lisa,
do
if
that.
you could text that to me so I can include it.
Do that.
Um, Perfect. Yeah, let's go ahead and switch to a little walk down memory lane. We were blessed to grow up near the Holmes and the Holmes family, and so we got to see Lisa very frequently, and she got to see us growing up. Um, so we're just gonna do a cute little favorite memory or top memories with one another. So, Lisa, if you want to go first, or if you want us to go first and share our favorite memories with you, I'll let you decide the order this
Yeah.
time.
Shoot. What did I do with my favorite memories? Okay. I'm going to try to remember them without my notes because I think I
I know
forgot
it's hard to remember for Caden because there might not be any
one. um,
dark times.
so this is a really random one. And maybe I don't know if I'm thinking it was you, Kaden, but occasionally you'd come to our house and we'd be trying to look for food to eat. And you would always eat um, what is it called? Hold on, I do have my notes.
Pastaroni?
You can say pasta run.
Pastaroni. Yes,
Yeah.
the
Yes.
shells. Shells
Um,
pastaroni.
The white
And the
cheddar
other thing I
shells.
remember is that you would like fruit. Like if I had fruit, you'd want to eat fruit. Um, so that was one top memory of you. It was like, okay, I was so glad that I always had it because like I feel like we don't always have a bunch of good stuff around our house. So um that's my opinion. Or I'm just a bad cook and I was like, I don't know what to feed these people. But I was
no.
glad to know there was like something on hand that you would always like, you know.
We
Yeah.
love that stuff. That's the first thing I wrote down about you, Lisa, was the
That is also
pastaroni.
the
I was
first thing
like,
I wrote down as well, was the
that stuff
pasta
is
That's
the
roni.
best.
hilarious.
Man.
Okay, so hold on, I'm gonna grab my
Man, yeah,
I would make that stuff in college. I was like, this
I'm
is treating myself good.
yeah, I'm still convinced however she made it, which was probably just following the instructions, was better than how we ever made it.
There's instructions?
Something about
okay.
Lisa's touch with it. Man, so
It's probably
good.
just somebody else making it, as you might know now if you're cooking in life, where you're like,
Yes.
True.
as long as somebody else is making it, it tastes good and I'm eating it,
Yeah.
you know. Okay,
Yes.
so this is like not a firsthand experience, but so I remember, we didn't do sleepovers much. Um, but I can't remember what the thing was. Maybe I gave in at some point and I was like, okay, I'll let you guys go hang out with Grant and Caden. I think the boys were older.
Hey.
Um, but so it was probably like, yeah, they're probably responsible enough by now, right? Um,
Amen.
Grant, are you knowing what this is? Anyway, so
Yes. I'm gonna drop off the
um,
call for a little bit.
yeah, so Tanner went over there. And come to find out, you guys had stayed up till like 5 in the morning playing video games. Um,
What?
do you not
No.
remember? Is this true?
It was 6 a.m. actually.
Okay. And I was like, what? I totally trusted you guys and you let me down. But
Yeah, that
I
was
should have known.
irresponsible. I tell Tanner still to this day, Lisa, I was like, Tanner, I'm sorry I was such a bad influence on you as a kid. You deserved better.
Oh man.
Man, it was fun
Okay.
though.
Sorry, a couple. So another favorite thing for both of you is just it was so fun to have um Caden on Andrew's basketball team, Grant on Tanner's. Like
Yeah.
that was so fun. And you guys were, just such good players too. It was fun to watch. Um, and let's see. Um, I think the other thing, this is just like a feeling of um just I was always amazed. So this is a kind of shout out to your parents. Um, because I was a pretty uptight, scheduled, structured parent, right? Like go to bed at a certain time, get up at a certain time, like we got to take naps at this certain time, like and your parents were more kind of go with the flow. Um You guys could kind of go to bed when you want, watch TV when you want. Like you were just, it was a lot more. That's how I perceived it. I don't know if I was right.
Yeah, and
Um,
live with the consequences of it for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I was always so impressed with how that worked so well and how you guys came out like turned out like not entitled, kind, like delightful. What's just like polite, good kids. I don't even know. Like I would think that like if you're doing whatever you want and whatever that you would have been more like Henri. And so I just was so impressed with um how you guys just moved in the world and lived your lives and were just good kids. And I was
Thank
thinking,
you.
how's that gonna
Thank
work
you,
if
Lisa.
they just get to do whatever they want? I think, you gotta have structure. And it's good for me to know like that there's lots of ways to do things and it works out really well, like you guys in my mind broke the your whole all the kids in your family are just good kids. That's all I gotta say about it.
You're
Thank
So
too
you,
kind.
Lisa.
You're too
yeah.
kind.
That is very sweet. Grant, we should keep having people on the podcast that compliment us. Last week, the wives, and now we got Lisa. This is
I don't know. I need people to
blushing.
stroke my ego. This is great.
Okay, and the other memory is, of course, Kids Bowl free. We gotta go. We gotta say that because that
Oh,
was just
amazing.
so many
man,
years of fun.
Yeah, like they did it for a long time. It wasn't just one summer. It was like kind
Mhm.
of a old faithful. Every summer we could come back to it.
Yep.
yeah. And I
So
felt like
fun.
there were several summers where we would go. Like it felt like 3 to 5 times a week. Like we made use of those passes for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh
Brought us
man,
together a lot. So yeah, yeah, super fortunate the proximity that we had growing up and just the fact that you have boys our age that
yeah,
shared similar interests and were just very good people to have in our lives. I think, maybe part of the reason we turned out the way we are is because we were able to spend a lot of time with your family and with your sons who, despite what you may think, were also a very good influence on us. So
Yeah.
shout out to the
really,
Holmes boys for sure.
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, yeah. Well, the two things I wrote down were my favorite memories were the pastarone. You made great pastarone. And was the bowling. I loved when Andrew was getting bowling lessons, and his teacher would always say, "Bowl like mom," and I feel like we
Yeah.
still say that to this day. Is out of nowhere, we'll just say "Bowl like mom." And yeah, I just remember whether it was bowling or ping pong or swimming, I feel like you were always super excited to spend time with us and play with us. I feel like as a kid that always made me feel super special that I had like one of the adults that was willing to play and do whatever we did. Again, whether it was ping pong or swimming or bowling or whatever it was super fun to I feel like you made us feel very special and very seen as nephews.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm sure Grant would
It
echo
was
that.
yeah, it's like you were not ever afraid to like you weren't sit on the sideline kind of parents, right? It's not parental supervision. It was more like parental competition. You were in the game with us, like you were going 100% and it's super fun.
Speaking
Um
of Family Feuds, I also remember playing the game Family Feud on your TV. I don't remember exactly how it's set
Oh
up, but I
yeah.
remember you guys had like a digital Family Feud game that we'd play too. That was fun.
Oh yeah. That was fun. I hadn't
a
remembered that, but
couple
that sounds great.
a couple quick stories, Lisa. I don't know if you remember this or if it was like maybe it was like for Morgan specifically or maybe it was for all of your kids, but you did a Halloween party one time and it wasn't at your current house, but where you lived before, I believe.
Mhm.
And all I remember from it is like you had this one thing where you had to close your eyes and guess what you were eating. And
Huh.
it was like one of them was like grapes, and you're like, nope, those are eyeballs. And then the
Yeah.
next one was like ramen, and I was like, this is ramen, right? It's like, no, those are intestines. I was like, oh, I don't.
Okay,
Like,
there was another
I
one.
think Ken did all that stuff. I am so not a it was probably Ken and Morgan, honestly. But
yeah, yeah.
I was probably there and pretending like I did something for that.
Then I won't credit you for that. The fact that I couldn't eat ramen or grapes for a while after that. It's too
Hey, there was
Yeah,
an
traumatizing.
there was another one that was cauliflower, and it was supposed to be brains, and I remembered
mhm.
I think Andrew and I were the youngest ones there, and again, being blindfolded, I was like, "Oh, man, who did they sacrifice for this?" Oh, I was traumatized for a little
You're
bit,
too
yeah.
Oh,
young.
man.
Scary.
That's funny. Uh,
Times. Fun that you would do stuff like that for your kids.
Yeah.
Like now as a, I'm still ways away from doing stuff like that, but I'm already panicking. Like, you mean other
once
kids are
again,
gonna come over and I have to entertain them?
that was definitely Ken and Morgan, I promise, because I am so like, I can do the bowling, the swimming, but I party planning is not my forte. But
Or mine. Yeah, it takes a special talent.
uh-huh, for sure.
Um, alright, well, we'll go ahead and wrap up. I feel like we already had some good conversation talking about the books, but the last little bit, I just wanted to do some reflection and advice, and I'd love to hear from Lisa. We have a few questions, and they can be brief answers or longer answers, whatever flows from the heart, Lisa. Um, but we'll go ahead and just start with the first question. What do people worry too much about?
And I'm starting or you guys are starting?
It's all
Oh,
you,
okay.
Lisa.
Um, what I was thinking is what other people think of them.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah, it's a big one.
like whether people like them or don't like them, because the fact of the matter is not everybody's gonna like you. And um, you gotta live in the way that you feel is best and be happy about that.
Yeah. I feel like that goes back to I wrote that basically the same thing for my answers. People worry too much about what others think. And I feel like that's the best answering from last week. The best marriage advice we've gotten is do what's best for us and what we think is best because everybody's going to have an opinion. And odds are a lot of them are going to contradict other people's opinions.
Mm,
So in the end, yeah, just do what you think is best and try to keep your head on straight.
mhm.
Yeah.
What you got,
Yeah.
Grant?
Yeah, no, that's a good one. I think universally that's one people really over worry about. Something that came to my mind, and maybe this is just more something that I tend to worry about, is just like making the wrong, quote unquote wrong decision. I feel like so many people just choose inaction or they get decision paralysis because it's just not worth it to make a mistake or to go down a path that turns out to be the wrong one. And um yeah, I think it's just kind of an overblown worry. Like that is life, to make wrong decisions. And you can be careful and you can be, prepared and practical, whatever, like have the right intentions, but it's okay to make wrong decisions. And that's like how you make better decisions. So um I am trying to be intentional about just like taking more action in life. And like it's just so much better to like make a couple wrong decisions that are really inconsequential and uh, kind of fail your way or stumble your way into some of those really rewarding right decisions.
Yeah. Thanks
Yeah,
for
that's
sharing
really
that,
good.
Grant. You're so wise beyond your years.
It's very true
Which
about me.
I know sounds sarcastic, but truly that was a good good response. I
Yeah,
appreciate
that's
it.
really good.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, next question, and we can just go in the same order. Lisa, what advice would you give your younger self at this phase of your life?
Um, at this phase of my life, um, how do I say this? This is all gonna be along the same lines, just so you know, all these
Yeah,
questions.
perfect.
But, I think when I was younger, um, how do I s it would probably be to slow down, to be more present with my kids, with my family, um, not wish away the years. I think I did a lot of that sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh man, it will be so much easier when they can sleep through the night. And it will be so much, which is true, by the way.
Yeah. When Tanner stops sweating the bed. Or
Yeah,
It
exactly.
hasn't
Oh no,
happened.
He was a good potty trainer. He potty trained through the night, right when he just by anyways.
My gosh,
Um,
great
I
trainer.
think, and maybe this is more a wish than advice to my younger self, but I just wish that which I mean, I wish I had all the tools that I have now for life. I don't know if you can get that without age and experience, but sometimes I wish um, that I had just taken, I don't know, more time, had more, um, taken more opportunities to learn emotional skills. And um, that would be my advice is learn all you can about, you know, communication and all those kinds of things. It'll serve you well throughout your life. So that's what I would probably tell
Yeah,
my
Right.
yeah. We're always so focused on like the hard skills or like what's marketable or whatever, but really it's the soft skills that matter most, and really like that's what differentiates you too in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I've decided with this question that Lisa doesn't get to go first next time because I her like first words in her answer were to slow things down, and what I wrote for my answer was slow life down. Which
Wow.
I think this is a might come off as a funny thing to say as the youngest one on this little recording session, but time goes by fast. I feel like I've talked about it before about the arrival fallacy of I feel like it's so easy when you're younger to wish to be a teenager, to be able to drive, and then to be an adult, and to be in college, and be married, and all that, and waiting for that next step to feel like you can fully be fulfilled. But time goes by so fast. I feel like before you know it, you opportunities are gone, or you've already lived what you were looking forward to for so long. And it's easy to take things for granted. Like, for example, just having graduated from BYU just over a month ago, that was something I looked forward to for my whole life. And those days are fully in the past now, which is both awesome and rewarding, but also sad. And that was such a fun phase of life, both for the academics of it, for the sports, but also that phase of life, being married and living next to so many people in the same phase of life. Um, yeah, just figuring out how to slow life down and not worry too much about getting to the next phase. Because it will come regardless, be my advice.
It's
Good.
good
Good
advice.
stuff.
And remember, it was David who slew Goliath. He was but a wee lad. So,
Is
you
that
know,
because I'm below average height-wise, or
no, you said you were the youngest,
just kidding?
but full of wisdom yourself, my friend. This is a hard question because I have a million pieces of advice for my younger self. I just was a confused person and still am, and I need all the help I could get. But one of the things I wrote down is like I tell myself, don't confuse proximity with closeness. Like, we have a lot of accidental closeness in a family setting when you're always with your siblings or with your parents or even like friends at school, or you start work and you're around coworkers and you build these relationships. And you might assume that once you move on from those things, like get a new job or you go to a new school or graduate or whatever, that those relationships will stay intact or maybe maintain their strength or their whatever. And the reality is they don't. Like a lot of times on both sides, the effort just kind of collapses. And while you might still consider someone, a good friend or, it'd be fun to hop on a phone call every other year or something, like that's what I did not do a good job at, is I assumed that proximity was closeness in terms of how I built my relationship. So, like, even within my family, I'm sure we all wish that we had gotten to know our parents better or like spent more meaningful time with siblings or grandparents or cousins. And of course, we all could have done better, but time goes by and we don't get it back. So, having the right mindset is so important that we can avoid feeling those sad or negative feelings that we might be feeling now in the future. And just so I would tell myself that, not that I have like the most regret about
Yeah,
certain
yeah,
relationships or
for
anything,
sure.
but just enough that it alerts me to the reality of what relationships are like once you move on from things. So
I feel like that
Well,
is
and
a or go ahead, Lisa.
well, I was just gonna say that's what's so cool about you guys doing this podcast is that you're making sure that it's not just proximity, but you're building strong relationships, right? Like you're doing things to maintain and build the relationships with your family members. So that's cool.
We're trying.
Yeah,
We're
thank
trying
you.
for
Yeah,
sure.
that's the whole point, really. Like that's why it's
Yeah.
the Bro Log podcast is we did live in three separate time zones. Now Kate and I are both on the East Coast, but still so far away. And
Yeah.
if we're not intentional about it, even though we still love each other, we could very quickly become strangers.
Yeah. To yeah, very timely given personally my life circumstances of moving far away and not being as close to everyone I felt close to in the past year and past little bit. And then Grant and I both just being very geographically far removed from a lot of people that we would have considered ourselves close to. It definitely becomes a much more intentional effort. Um, and as I live that more, I'm sure I'll have more questions for Grant and seek more advice both on and off the
And
podcast.
we'll have fewer answers.
um, Um, all right, I'm gonna do the last two questions out of order than what I gave them to you guys as. But what surprised you most about adulthood? And I'm hoping I'll have a different answer than Lisa. So I'll let Lisa go first again.
Well, you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. I wrote this down. So I feel like the thing that surprised me, say the question one more time.
What surprised you most about adulthood?
So I'm talking about what's surprising me the most now, if that's okay. uh, adulthood,
Yeah.
Yeah.
post post. So I think it's that I spent, so much of my life was kind of um, responding to demands, school, work. When I was younger, right, and then kids and all that stuff. Um, and now, like, I don't have all those demands. Um, and so it's just been really surprising how, like, there's a lot of blank space. I mean, even though I think I told you, Caden, I'm working part time. It's just, I'm kind of like at this point where I'm like, I just don't even know what to do with myself because there's just
Yeah.
not enough. Like, I really have to like seek for things to fill my life with that are good things and um,
Meaningful and worthwhile. Yeah, absolutely.
meaningful. And I never anticipated that really surprised me that there would come a point in my life when it would be like that instead of just like running like crazy and trying to keep up with things. And it's just
Yeah.
a really, really weird shift. I'll say that.
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine. I feel like I'm on the front end of that scenario of I for the next probably 20, 30 years, I will be running around. So definitely I think it's easy to say you're looking forward to having so much free time, but I'm sure that also comes with its own challenges and its own again, it's just a different phase of life, which means some growth pains and some adjustments. And so yeah, thanks for sharing that.
It's a
And
good one.
proud to announce that I have a different answer than Lisa for,
Yay.
for the first time. Um,
Hooray.
Tara and I always joke that we've been fake adulting for the last like 3 years between paying a cheaper BYU married housing rent and still being in college and feels like we're finally to the point where we're about to start real adulting or she is already with her job having already started. Um, I realize my answer isn't super related to what I just said other than just, yeah, we're real adulting now and I don't mean this as a diss to any other adults, but I feel like one thing that's kind of surprising about adulthood is although most might not admit it, I feel like most people don't actually know what they're doing. I feel like as a younger person, it's very easy to look at adults and be like, "Oh man, they've got it all figured out. They know how to do this and do that and buy a house, buy a car with no confusion, no research. They just know it organically through osmosis." Um, but I feel like truly everyone's just trying to figure it out. Nobody really has all the answers. Most of the people who do are lacking in other areas or just aren't self-aware. Um, But everybody's just trying to figure it out. Nobody truly has it, quote unquote, figured out.
This reminds me of we just watched Frozen 2, and Olaf sings the song about, "This will all make sense when I'm
When
older."
I'm yeah,
He's just a confused little snowman.
Well, and it's
yeah.
funny coming from a kid perspective because 'cause you're like, "Oh, my parents know what they're doing," right? And you're like, "No, they have no idea. They're just
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to raise kids and, do
Yeah.
all the things."
Yeah, but the fact that they drive you to school and put food on the table every night is enough for you to think like, "Oh, yeah, adulting? I'll wake up one day and I'll know everything." Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, okay, do you guys want my optimistic answer or my pessimistic answer?
Both, maybe.
Let's start with the pessimistic if you're gonna give both. That way we
Alrighty.
end on a happy note.
What surprised me about adulthood, and hear me out on this, is the death or the decline of the American dream. Because here's what I have written down is I feel like I was sold on this American dream, like that it's a simple equation, right? Like you work hard, you follow this path, and then life opens up. So if you get good grades, you'll go to a good college, you'll get a good job, um, have a good house, good family. And nowadays it's like you go to a good college and you're in extreme college debt for years and years, unless you go to BYU, go Cougs. Um,
True.
and an entry level job requires 5 years plus of experience. Like it's just entry level job isn't what it used to mean, right? You have to start even below that, even with a degree or several degrees. Which is why I had to submit over 200 job applications to get um, not the most exciting in terms of compensation job, but I'm happy where I'm at. And I'm not going to complain about that. Anyway, and starter homes, that like what is that? Starter homes aren't a thing anymore. It's just you
Yeah.
hope to have a home at one point.
Can't believe
So
we weren't investing when we were in, like, 2nd and 4th grade, Grant. We really
I know. I didn't know that wages were gonna flatline and that inflation would be so crazy. Anyway, that's my
Mm,
pessimistic. I learned about it or, what's the question? What surprised me about adulthood? I kind of felt
yeah.
like if you did what people told you you should do, then you would be rewarded with what they had. You know what I mean?
Mhm, mhm.
So, that's the pessimistic view. The optimistic is, I mean, honestly, along the same vein of thought, but there is no blueprint for adulthood, right? So think about it in terms of like from an LDS perspective, you follow the gospel, you have faith, you repent, you're baptized, and then you get all your saving ordinances. If you're able to do that, that's great. And then you endure to the end. That endure to the end is the biggest piece of your life
Yeah.
for especially for someone like me who was born into the covenant, was baptized at 8, has kind of followed all the steps to a T, right? The rest of my life is enduring to the end, and it is intentionally vague. And, yeah, no blueprint, and you guys, I mean, really, it fits into both the things that you guys said, but, adulting is hard, and it's confusing, and we're just good people trying to be better every day, and that's what being an adult is.
Yeah. Amen.
Yeah,
Well
sorry
said.
sorry for the word vomit there. Apologize.
No,
Yeah, that was
we're
good.
we're here for all of it. Alright, last question, then we'll
Wait,
wrap
hold
up.
on. Sorry, what were you about to say, Lisa?
No, no, no. It's okay. I'll pass.
Lisa, please.
Back over to you, Caden.
Yeah.
Alright.
Sorry.
Um, yeah, we'll wrap up, and thanks to all those who have listened to this point of this longer episode.
Yeah, sorry for the whole
Um,
thing.
no, no, not at all. It has been all good content. I know I'll go back and listen to it as well, so even if no one else listens to it, I'll I'll enjoy it for sure, and learn a thing or 2. Last question, I'd love for Lisa to be the last one to answer, just because she has more life experience than us, so I'm sure she'll have a better answer. But what has become more important with age, um, is the final question. I'll just answer, again, being very young, just relationships. Relationships become a lot more important, whether that's a mission companion or friend or a hometown buddy or most important, family. Relationships become a lot more important with age. I'll leave it at that.
Amen. Retweet. Ditto.
Hashtag, hashtag.
My gut reaction to this question was health. Health becomes a lot more important as I'm older, and not that I'm sickly or uh I've hit my prime in life yet, but growing up, you're doing sports, you have a great metabolism, like health is just kind of natural unless you go way out of your way to be unhealthy. But as an adult, every choice you make has a direct impact on your health. So being a lot more conscious of it, a lot more intentional, building it into your routines and your systems and whatnot. And um, a certain level of enjoyment that comes from the pursuit of a healthy lifestyle.
Mm,
Um, yeah,
no,
that's what I'd say.
All
thanks, Grant.
right. Caden, you took mine. Um, but yeah, so definitely relationships, but I'm going to go with a different one since you took mine. My other one was time, which is such a funny thing at this point in my life because I have probably less of my life left than I've had so far, right? Like I'm in the later stages of my life, and so um sorry.
Don't be sorry. Take your time.
um yeah, you just realize just how yeah, how quick time passes and kids grow up, you know, they move on. Um so yeah, and I don't know if you've ever seen one of those I don't know, they have these videos where they show how your life when you're like 1, 2, 3, 4 goes at a certain pace, and like towards the end of your life, it goes really fast. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those. It's like a
Mhm.
time lapse.
Yep.
Um, but anyways, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling the like, wow, where did the years when my kids were young go? You know, um, and so yeah, I think that's what I'd say is just um, I think a lot about that and about relationships and making sure that I'm building um, relationships with the people that I love. So,
Yeah, thank you
all
so
right.
much, Lisa. No,
Yeah, no,
no,
that's beautiful.
no need to apologize. Just to again, thank you, Lisa, for
Yes.
joining and to be selfish for a second. I know you have made a wonderful mother to your kids and wonderful wife to your husband, but you've also been a wonderful aunt to Grant and I. So thank you so much.
You have.
All
Round of
the
applause for Lisa.
Oh my
woo!
goodness.
Yeah, thank you for all the wonderful memories that we were fortunate enough to share with you growing up. And we're super happy to be able to share a new memory with you now. Having had the last
Absolutely.
little bit to chat with you and talk about what's most important. So thank you
Well, and
for
thanks for doing this, and thanks for your examples, and just love hearing from you guys. You're a really integral part of my week now, just so you know. So
I love
really
it.
look forward to it.
Do you have any parting words for your kids or for your fans out there? Anything you want them to know?
Mine?
This is your platform now, Lisa. So anything you want to
No,
say?
no, keep listening. Keep listening. These guys got some good insights and good um I don't know, just good examples. So uh, just I'm preaching to all my kids. Listen to Brolog and to all the other family members. So
I love it. That's the best endorsement we've ever gotten.
I know,
I am
yeah.
honored.
All right,
yeah.
Lisa, last question, and then I'm gonna play the theme song right after your answer. So no pressure. But who do you want to hear from next? Who would you like us to host? Whether it's a repeat guest, new guest,
Um, let's
has to be
see.
a realistic guest as well. You can't throw out some super famous person we'll never get a hold of.
Um, Probably Tanner or Andrew because I think they're diehards like we are.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Next in
That's
line too.
Uh-oh. Stinky.
All
All
right.
so
right. You've been called upon, Tanner and Andrew. So check your phones daily. You never know. We might play hard to get. We might wait a month, wait a week or two.
yeah,
Could be
yeah.
tomorrow. Could be right now. You never know.
All All right.
Roll
Thanks, guys.
music.
Love
Thanks,
ya.
Lisa.
Uh-huh.
Roll